It seems such a long time ago since the Cross City line came out for Train Sim World, and it brought us the full length of the line and the Class 323 with it too. However, the jewel in the crown had to be Birmingham New Street. They did a fantastic job with the model of the station. But this is the busiest station outside of the UK. 33.3 million used it in the year ending March 2024. But with only the 323 in the game, it felt like a ghost town in TSW. However, we now have the Pendolino, Class 350s, cross-country HSDs, a variety of Class 158 liveries, and on Creators Club, Spikey Yorks has created 3 fantastic scenarios so that we can see this line at its best. And in today's video, we'll go from University to Four Oaks. There's no Class 730 in the game, but we'll be taking a West Midlands Railway reskin of the Class 710. It looks pretty good. Hello, welcome to University Station. We're on the Cross City line and really buzzing to try out this scenario. I mean, some people say that this isn't very much looking like a 730, but I think it's a decent stand-in and the livery looks really good on it. Well, if you can call the West Midlands Railway livery looking really good. It's quite garish really, but it's certainly a very good representation of it. So let's get our doors open. We've already set the train up, so that's one job done. We're due off at 10:15, and we've just got 5 ways and then Birmingham New Street, and then essentially all stations to Four Oaks. It's about 45 minutes in all, the total run. So it's kind of really a reimagining, and I think you can basically say, well, had West Midlands Railway got their hands on some 710s, then this is perhaps what they would have done with the livery. Due away 10:16. Actually, we're kind of loading passengers at 10:15, then departure from University at 10:16. I'll keep an eye on the timetable along the route. Get the doors closed at this stage. Alongside the canal. It's been said before, hasn't it, many times, but there's more mileage in terms of the canal network in Birmingham than there is in Venice, apparently. But yeah, I've been really buzzing to do this scenario right from the moment when there were some screenshots that came up from Spikey Yorks a couple of weeks ago, and you could kind of see what was involved and how busy Birmingham New Street was, and this is kind of what I've been really hoping for with the Cross City line, because at the moment, as I said in the intro, it's just so quiet, just doesn't do it justice at all. But this looks as though it's going to be really busy. I think there's 1 or 2 other moments of interest in terms of other traffic as well along the way, so we'll see what happens when we get to Birmingham New Street and beyond. What's great as well, and sometimes getting all the reskins from Creators Club can be a little bit of a nuisance, but the great news is Spikey Yorks has put a page up in the forums, and he's literally put links up to all the scenarios, all the reskins that you need. So really easy to put in. And of course, because it's on Creators Club, it's not at all restricted to PC users. That's available to console users as well, as far as I know anyway. So coming into 5 ways. I think it's called 5 ways because there are basically 5 tunnels between this station and Birmingham New Street. Yeah, it's difficult to say whether I really like the West Midlands Railway livery or not. It's certainly bright, it's certainly colourful. Now, the one slightly odd thing, and I don't think this is any fault of the scenario creator, but it says Aston on the front, and I know because I briefly tried it out last night. When we get to Aston, it'll change, and it will then show as 4 Oaks. So we'll be calling it 5 ways: Birmingham New Street, Duddeston, Aston, Gravelly Hill, Erdington, Chester Road, Wild Green, Sutton the Coalfield, and 4 Oaks. It's a nice train to give a run out on a different line as well. You certainly get a good perspective from the cab, I think. Be very mindful of the speed drops, because before you know it we're down to 20 miles an hour, and then we absolutely crawl into New Street itself, 10 miles an hour. This is just one of 3 scenarios that he's put up. I say that as we speak. I mean, there's a load of other good stuff as well, and he's also put some extra paths in for this cross-city line, so that I think it's so that we basically can see all these extra services on all the various bits and pieces. I can spy already a Pendolino coming into the platform that would be having arrived from Wolverhampton, or possibly from Blackpool or Edinburgh, because a lot of the Edinburgh-Blackpool services seem to come through. This is one slight mystery. I can't figure out why I've got a TfL liveried 710 there, because I've got all the other reskins installed. But you can see straight away how busy things are. We've got a Pendolino on the left, we've got couple of 323s. I spy a cross-country liveried HSD on the right. This is what Birmingham New Street should be like. And it'd be great if at some point we get a new timetable mod for the game. Maybe, who knows, we might get an official 7:30 in there as well. But I think this will do us for the time being. And I think of those 3 scenarios, one of them is a fast run from Bromsgrove into New Street with the Class 170. Here's a Transport for Wales liveried Class 158 there. We've got an Arriva Trains Wales one, or at least, yeah, it has actually got the Arriva branding on, so that wouldn't be completely prototypical, but still quite nice to see that livery in there. Perhaps we need an unbranded one. We are essentially getting to the end of the platform. We've got a Pendolino coming into the station as well. Eye on the time as well. 10:24. We're due out at New Street 10:26, so we've got a little bit of time. Apart from anything else, we'll need the signals to clear as well, because that incoming Pendolino is blocking our path. I know it's worth having a look at Spikey Yorks' other stuff as well on Creators Club. He's called DJ on there. Quite easy to find if you actually do a search for DJ. It brings up all his bits and bobs. There's some very good looking scenarios, and he's put a great deal of effort in with different runs. And that Victoria to Brighton was, I think it was one of his older ones, I think he was saying. But with the Network Southeast 47, but that was tremendous fun as well. I know that you all enjoyed watching that. We can't quite go yet. We're just waiting for that signal to clear. You can see the rotunda up above us. There we go. We've got a single yellow, so I think that will do us. We've got something coming into New Street as well. It's very, very busy, but it is in real life. Yeah, looks like an East Midlands 158. Is that the latest livery? Or is there an old school one? I'm not totally sure on that. So Dudston, I don't know if it's Dudston or Duddeston. That's our next stop. Be slightly careful with these signals because of course we got a single yellow we left on, but we're on double yellow now. Of course you've got all the HS2 works going on our left. It's going to be Curzon Street, isn't it? Oh, that's a good sight as well. We've got a cross-country HSD now coming into view. Of course, that would have come from, most likely, well, there's a couple of ways. It could either have come from sort of Leamington Spa and Coventry, or it could be one that's come from Derby and Tamworth that way. I was a bit late seeing that 15, but I actually remembered. I mean, some people have said that I mean, I've not tried myself to create a scenario on Creators Club, but I know a number of people have commented that it's very limited. But then you look at something like this and you think, well, actually, there's a lot going on, which is great to see. That's exactly what you want. 350 coming into view as well. That's probably, I'm guessing that's come from the Walsall line. Of course, that diverges off towards Bescott Yard and Walsall. Interesting if we do eventually get an official 7:30. It's also whether Dovetail Games ever sort out the issue they had when West Coast Main Line South was released with the LNWR branding. Now we have got 60 mile an hour, but no point in going up to that because we're entering the platforms here. At least we've got passengers waiting anyway. They're always a given on Train World 5 routes. See the stop car marker there. But I've always enjoyed the video. Enjoyed the video. I've always enjoyed this route, but for the lack of traffic around Birmingham New Street. And the bit really, I mean, from Redditch or Bromsgrove, you've got quite a bit potentially of passing traffic as well with sort of services, I mean the cross-country services as well going towards Cheltenham Spa. Remember that you're supposed to kind of set off about 30% for the first few miles an hour. Then we go into full power. I think the marker or the AWS sound was for the got the reduction in speed to 45 coming up, but I think we'll be don't know if that's before or after the station, actually. No, that's before, isn't it? I think the red signal's after the station at Aston. I have to talk about the video 125 runs, but there is a good one, the 323 from many years ago now, but when it was first electrified, the 323s were a kind of a brand new thing, and it was narrated by Kay Alexander, which if you're from the Midlands, you'll very much know that name, Midlands Today. Now, all the stations are absolutely beautifully modelled. The only slight thing is we don't have Aston Villa football ground. That was a nice sight. A tanker service coming through. Now, I could be wrong, but I just get the feeling when I tried this out last night that was a 37 coming through. I wonder if there's some update that slightly messed up the traffic slightly. I don't know. Yeah, you'd definitely be able to see Aston Villa's ground somewhere lurking over there, but it's not there. The scenery gets very sparse very quick. So we'll not set off too speedily because we're 20 mile an hour over the junction, but we'll quickly go up to 40. And then coming into view is a famous landmark in Birmingham. I think it's known officially. I think we do get some traffic going over, which is good to see, but that's a little part of what's officially known, I think, as the Gravelly Hill interchange. But a journalist who was allowed to see it in it was the early 70s, wasn't it? Saw it from a helicopter, looked down on it and said, "Looks more like Spaghetti Junction to me." The name's stuck ever since, and forevermore everybody calls it Spaghetti Junction. But you have a bit of a section of it here just weaving round. Leaving the heart of Birmingham and away, and we're getting a little bit out into the suburbs now. The stations have been superbly modelled. And I'm hoping very much at some point that we'll get I think one of the scenarios that he's put up is a short one with the 323. But hopefully we'll get a more end-to-end run with the 323 at some point, using the variety of stock that he's put together for use. I think the idea is you kind of install those reskins, and it's a bit of a template for some of the other scenarios he might have to come in the future for this cross-city line. See for yourself, that's going to Bromsgrove. So we've got Erdington next. Got about a mile to go, and again it's been another busy week on the train sim point of view, and I've not bought it yet. I'm kind of teetering and wondering whether to buy, but ATS have brought out the 755 for Train Sim Classic. It looks pretty good. If you already own the 745 and you're a ATS member, then you get it for about £20. If you're none of those things, then you end up spending £38 on it. From the driving point of view, it looks exactly the same as the 745. The cab looks identical. But what you do get is at least a slightly modified version of the Wherry lines. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure I'm desperate to rush out and get it, because much as though it looks lovely, I do find the Wherry lines slightly flat. And I mean, yes, it's what East Anglia's like, you know, in the Fenlands. It's very flat. Might seem a bit of an odd thing to say when I'm driving on the cross-city line around Birmingham, but I've always quite enjoyed the urban feel of Train Simulator sometimes. Now, again, completely different simulator, but we've had Subway Sim 2 launched today, and I must admit I'm very, very tempted to get that. Completely different. I mean, it's a standalone simulator, but it's representing a couple of the lines, the U-Bahn, I think they're called, aren't they, in Germany, lines around Berlin. It's kind of like above street level at times, and then you disappear underground, so it's quite fascinating. And you've got a couple of bits of stock for that line as well, old and newer, and then also the Hamburg one as well, which I think was on the original Subway Sim, but this is a kind of a more updated version. So I'm strongly tempted on that. Oh, we've got the flying banana. Chester Road. So you have to keep an eye out for these stations. They come together thick and fast. I think we're about on time. I wrote down 10:43. I've yet to find out the answer to the question yet, but I've watched a couple of these Subway Sim 2 videos, and do the passengers actually get on the train, and rather unlike on Train Sim World, do they actually get on the train and walk to the seats, or do we have the same thing about them kind of disappearing and sitting down? I'm intrigued to know that answer.
Ticket checks are in operation at
I guess there's only one way to find out.
Have your tickets available for inspection.
Seems to be quite a few YouTubers that have been gifted the game, but I'll certainly be putting my hand into the pocket to buy it. And on the Train Sim World front, we've also got a free upgrade to the Coal Ashen timetable. Now, I don't know whether I've got all the layers, but I am tempted to just make sure I've got as many of the layers as possible, and I'll perhaps give a run on the Sunday stream, at least on one of those. One of the services anyway. Just to say, by the way, if you are enjoying the video, and I'd be really grateful if you consider liking and subscribing to the channel, help keep the support going. And as ever, and I know I sound a bit like a broken record, but thank you very much for everybody that's supported, and had some new subscribers over the last week or so. So although the live stream will be Sunday at 5 o'clock again this week, that's if you're watching this in the first few days of the either on the premiere of it or fairly soon after this video has been released, but Sunday 5 o'clock is the usual live stream for the 4 hours. I hope you can join me and all the community for a bit of a chat. We do enjoy the live Sunday streams, and I think we'll regain the Sunday position certainly for the next few weeks. All looks good for the Sunday. Well, I quite enjoyed though doing the Friday stream last week, because we got a few, I think, new people, perhaps people that couldn't join us normally on the Sunday. So I'm not saying I'll never do a Friday one again. And the other thing we should be showing off on Sunday's stream as well will be the new cargo line pack. I think that comes out the night after this video premiere, so that should afford us some new content as well. So that's Intermodal's a new version of the Intermodals, and I know, as Amaze Taze has been mentioning many times, it will feature full-length trains, I believe, full-length formations. And I think he's said as well that the Class 66, I think other than the, perhaps, where Rivet Games have been involved, I think basically the 66 is capable of hauling full-length formations. Sutton Coldfield is next, and it feels like Sutton Coldfield is quite a major station. Sort of imagine this station with steam trains coming through. Well, some trains in real life terminate at Four Oaks, and of course quite a few go on to Lichfield City, and you have Lichfield Trent Valley. So I know that again one of the scenarios that Spikey Yorks has got going for the Cross City line is a little look at Lichfield Trent Valley, and you see a few things going through on the West Coast Main Line as well. Now we've got a 37 coming through. Perhaps that's where I've seen the 37. That was in rail frame colours as well, wasn't it? I love that. Kind of a ballast work in there. Maybe it was a 66 then last night. I was a bit tired. I know that Spikey Yorks has put a lot of work into these extended paths as well to kind of make full advantage of these routes, and some of them obviously quite old, like the Tees Valley line. There's quite a few of them that he's done. So hopefully at some point I'll get to show off a few of the other scenarios as well. Lovely when it's summer. Spring and summer are the best time of the year. Now we do have to be a bit careful because the next signal could be red. Now I think it's approach control potentially, so it might clear as we get closer to it, but of course you should never take these things for granted. It could just be that we've got a passing train to block our way into the bay platform. I think that's yellow, isn't it? Yeah, there we go, yeah. So B, one assumes means the bay platform, so we are signalled in. It's been a bit premature with the reduction in speed down to 20, which is rare for me. I usually come charging towards these speed limits. Well, we've seen plenty of traffic, haven't we? We've seen a couple of HSTs, well, 3 really if you count the Flying Banana one. We've seen that Class 37, we saw the 66 on the tanker, whole plethora of trains in Birmingham New Street as well. It's not quite finished yet because we've got another 710 Adventurer in West Midlands Railway Service livery making its way towards Birmingham New Street. Glide towards the stop. That should do us. So I hope you enjoyed that. Well, that was a look at Cross City Line with that Creators Club scenario by Spikey Yorks, and showed us what's possible at Birmingham New Street now with all the stock that's available in Train Sim World 5. I very much enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the video as well. And if you have enjoyed it and you've not done so already, I'd be tremendously grateful if you would consider liking and subscribing to the channel and keep the support going. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you can join me for one of the live streams on Sunday at 5 o'clock. We'll have 4 hours of train sim action. So until next time, this is Powerflower Trains and Planes. A very goodbye.